Starship Troopers still feels like a strange memory from another planet. Young faces in crisp uniforms, bright smiles, newsreel slogans, and a bug war that looked thrilling until the meaning settled in. We came for the battles, but over time, the movie began to feel colder, sharper, and more human. After 29 years, the cast carried those faces into very different lives. Some became familiar voices and television icons. Some stayed close to science fiction fans. Some are no longer with us. Tonight, we return to the mobile infantry and follow what happened after the war faded from the screen. Johnny Rico is the face most people remember first, the clean-cut young recruit who looked as if he had stepped straight out of a Federation poster. He began the story with confidence, romance, and a little too much trust in the promise of glory. That is what made him so effective. Rico was not born as the perfect soldier. He was shaped into one, piece by piece, through heartbreak, loss, punishment, and the need to belong. Casper Van Dien was 29 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he gave Rico exactly the kind of bright, almost innocent presence the movie needed. His smile made the satire work, because Rico believed the world around him before he understood what it was taking from him. He chased Carmen, argued with his parents, joined the mobile infantry, and slowly became the kind of hero the Federation wanted the audience to cheer. After the film, Van Dien stayed closely connected to the science fiction and action worlds that embraced him. He returned to the Starship Troopers universe, appeared in adventure, television, independent films, and genre projects, and kept the role alive for fans who never forgot that uniform. In 2026, he is 58, and Rico still remains the part of his screen life that many viewers recognize instantly. What makes Johnny Rico last is not only the battles or the bugs. It is the way he captures a young man being turned into a symbol before he has time to question the cost. Casper Van Dien gave him sincerity, charm, and a strange sadness beneath the heroic surface. And once Rico becomes the poster boy of the war, the story is ready to look at the friends standing beside him. Ace Levy is the friend who brings a grin into a world that keeps trying to erase fear. Around Rico, he feels loose, loud, and almost untouchable, the kind of recruit who jokes because silence would make the danger too real. But that is why Ace works. Beneath the swagger, there is loyalty, and Jake Busey gave him a restless spark that made the squad feel younger and more alive. Busey was 26 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997. In the years after, he continued moving through cult films, horror, science fiction, and television, building a career around that unpredictable energy. In 2026, he is 55. Ace remains memorable because his humor never felt empty. It felt like a young man trying to stay brave before the war became personal. Carmen Ibanez is the dream that pulls the story upward, away from the mud of the mobile infantry and into the cold promise of the fleet. She is not simply the girl Rico loves. She is ambition in motion, a young woman looking past comfort, past romance, and toward a future she believes she can earn among the stars. Denise Richards was 26 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and she gave Carmen that bright, polished confidence that made her choices feel believable. Carmen could seem distant, even frustrating, but she was never empty. She wanted more. She wanted command, movement, and the freedom to become something larger than the life expected of her. After the film, Richards became one of the most recognizable actresses of her era. She appeared in Wild Things, stepped into the James Bond world with The World Is Not Enough, worked across television, film, daytime drama, and reality projects, and stayed in the public eye through years of change and reinvention. In 2026, she is 55. Carmen lasts because she carries one of the film's sharpest tensions. She follows the future, while Rico follows his heart and then the war. Denise Richards made that choice feel beautiful, complicated, and human. For many viewers, Carmen still feels like the face of youth reaching for something just beyond the horizon. And where Carmen chooses the sky, another pilot steps in with confidence of his own. Zander Barcalow is the kind of rival who makes Rico's jealousy feel painfully human. He is not written as a simple villain. He is confident, charming, and already moving through the world Carmen wants to enter. In the fleet, Zander represents clean uniforms, upward motion, and a future that seems far away from the mud and punishment of the mobile infantry. Patrick Muldoon was 29 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he gave Zander a smooth, self-assured presence. He made the character easy to resent, but not easy to dismiss. Zander could smile, compete, fly, and still carry enough bravery to complicate the love triangle. That made him more than an obstacle between Rico and Carmen. He became part of the movie's larger question about ambition, loyalty, and the paths young people choose before they understand the cost. Before and after Starship Troopers, Muldoon was familiar to many viewers through Days of Our Lives, Melrose Place, and a long career across television, film, music, and genre entertainment. In 2026, his passing gave this role a quieter weight. He was 58 by the year count used for this journey. Zander remains in memory because Patrick Muldoon made confidence feel polished, romantic, and just vulnerable enough to matter. And once that rivalry fades, the heart of the mobile infantry belongs to someone who loved without needing to win. Busey Flores is the heartbeat of Starship Troopers, the soldier whose strength never hides the ache underneath. She fights beside Rico with discipline, humor, and courage. But what stays with us is the way she keeps loving him even when that love is not returned in the way she hopes. Dizzy makes the battlefield feel personal. She reminds us that behind every uniform is someone still carrying a private hope. Dina Meyer was 29 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and she gave Dizzy a rare mix of toughness and tenderness. She could handle the physical force of the role, but she also let the audience see the young woman inside the armor. Dizzy was not just brave because she fought bugs. She was brave because she stayed open-hearted in a world built to harden everyone. After the film, Meyer remained deeply connected to genre audiences. She became known to many fans as Barbara Gordon in Birds of Prey, appeared in the Saw franchise, and continued working across science fiction, horror, television, and voice projects. In 2026, she is 58, and Dizzy still feels like one of the roles that defines her screen presence. What gives Dizzy her lasting power is that her sacrifice never feels like propaganda. It feels human. Dina Meyer made her strong without making her cold, wounded without making her weak, and unforgettable without needing the biggest speech. For older viewers who remember the first time that scene landed, Dizzy still carries the sadness that the movie never fully says out loud. When Dizzy is gone, the war stops feeling like a game. Her memory leaves a quiet mark on the story. And from that point forward, the battlefield belongs to people who already understand that survival always comes with a cost. Jean Rassak is the teacher who makes Starship Troopers feel older than its young soldiers. Before the armor, before the dropships, before the first real terror of the Bug War, he is already warning his students that citizenship has a price. He carries the look of a man who has seen too much and still believes discipline is the only way to survive it. Michael Ironside was 47 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he brought Rassak a hard, weathered authority that never felt empty. His voice made every lesson sound paid for. In a classroom, he was severe. On the battlefield, he became something more personal, a commander whose harshness came from experience, not cruelty. After the film, Ironside remained one of the great familiar faces of science fiction, action, and genre cinema. Audiences remembered him from Scanners, Top Gun, Total Recall, and many other roles where toughness always carried intelligence underneath. In 2026, he is 76, and his screen presence still has that same unmistakable weight for longtime genre fans. Rassak endures because he turns the movie's satire into something almost mournful. He knows the cost before the others do. He sees the war machine clearly, yet still stands inside it. And after Dizzy reminds us what youth can lose, Rassak reminds us that some scars were already there long before the first battle began. Breckenridge is the recruit who proves that danger in Starship Troopers does not wait for the battlefield. He feels big, friendly, and strong enough to survive basic training without trouble, which is exactly why his accident cuts through the early excitement. For a moment, the movie stops feeling like an adventure and shows how quickly the system can break one of its own. Eric Bruscotter was 31 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he gave Breckenridge an easy warmth that made the lost land harder. After the film, Bruscotter remained familiar through television and film, including Major League Memories and steady character work. In 2026, he is 60. Breckenridge lasts because his short time on screen turns training into the first warning of what is coming. Sugar Watkins is the kind of soldier who makes the mobile infantry feel less like a slogan and more like a group of people trying to survive together. He does not need the loudest line or the biggest entrance. His courage is quieter than that. It shows in the way he stays close, keeps moving, and stands beside Rico when the war turns ugly. Seth Gilliam was 29 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he brought Sugar a grounded, steady presence. The movie is full of satire, bright propaganda, and giant spectacle, but Sugar helps give it a human pulse. His loyalty feels physical. His fear never turns him small. After the film, Gilliam built a respected television career, reaching viewers through The Wire, Teen Wolf, and The Walking Dead. In 2026, he is 58. Sugar remains memorable because he reminds us that bravery is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply staying beside someone when everything around you is falling apart. And around him, other young faces helped make that squad feel alive. Kitten Smith is one of those young faces that makes the mobile infantry feel like a real unit before the battlefield begins taking people away. He carries the open energy of a recruit still close enough to youth that the war almost feels unreal around him. Matt Levin was 25 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and his presence helped fill the squad with warmth and motion. In 2026, he is 54. Kitten remains a small but important reminder that every crowd of soldiers is made of individual lives. Captain Deladier brings a different kind of strength to Starship Troopers. She is not on the ground with the mobile infantry, but her calm presence aboard the Roger Young makes the fleet feel disciplined, polished, and certain of itself. That is what makes her fate so sobering. Even in command, even surrounded by systems and rank, no one is truly beyond the reach of the war. Brenda Strong was 37 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and she gave Deladier a quiet authority that stood apart from the younger recruits. She did not need to raise her voice to be believed. Her composure made the disaster feel sharper when control began to slip away. After the film, Strong became especially familiar to television audiences, most memorably through her voice and presence on Desperate Housewives, along with many later roles in drama, superhero television, and ensemble storytelling. In 2026, she is 66. Deladier endures because Brenda Strong made command feel graceful, focused, and fragile. And behind that command, another kind of control was waiting in the shadows. Carl Jenkins is the friend who quietly disappears behind the machinery of the Federation. At first, he belongs with Rico, Carmen, and the others, another young face from a world that still feels almost ordinary. But when he returns in uniform, the warmth is gone. What remains is control, intelligence, and a calm that feels more unsettling than any battlefield. Neil Patrick Harris was 24 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he gave Carl a careful stillness that made the character stand apart. Carl is not loud. He does not need to be. His power comes from the way he watches, understands, and slowly becomes useful to a system that values obedience more than friendship. For many viewers, seeing Harris in this role became even more fascinating with time. He had already been known to American audiences as Doogie Howser, but after Starship Troopers, his career became one of the great reinventions in television and stage entertainment. He later became beloved for How I Met Your Mother, hosted major award shows, earned acclaim on Broadway, and built a career full of range. In 2026, he is 53. Carl Jenkins endures because he shows how the Federation does not only train bodies, it also claims minds. Neil Patrick Harris made that transformation smooth, polished, and quietly cold. And once Carl shows us the system from the inside, the story turns toward the officers who kept that machine moving. General Owen is the kind of officer who makes the Federation feel older, heavier, and less forgiving. He is not remembered for a grand speech or a heroic charge. He belongs to the rooms where decisions are made before younger people pay for them in the field. Marshall Bell was 55 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he brought Owen a blunt, weathered authority that felt practical rather than theatrical. His face carried the weight of command without asking for sympathy. In 2026, Bell is 84. After a long career as a dependable character actor in films that many viewers remember by feeling before title, Owen endures because Bell made military bureaucracy feel human, worn down, and still powerful enough to shape everyone beneath it. The commanding officer is a small part of Starship Troopers, but he helps fill the world with the sound of authority. In a movie built around orders, ranks, and young people being moved through a military machine, even a brief face can matter. He reminds us that the Federation works because countless voices keep the system moving. Dean Norris was 34 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he brought the role of firm, grounded presence. There's no softness in that moment, only command. Years later, that same grounded force would become deeply familiar to television audiences. After the film, Norris reached a much wider audience as Hank Schrader on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, turning a tough lawman into one of modern television's most memorable human figures. In 2026, he is 63. His Starship Troopers role is brief, but it now feels like an early glimpse of the blunt, believable authority he would carry so well. Katrina is one of the faces that makes the mobile infantry feel young, crowded, and alive. She does not carry the center of the story, but her presence helps the squad feel like more than a few chosen heroes. Blake Linsley was 24 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and she brought Katrina a sharp, alert energy inside the formation. In 2026, she is 53. Katrina remains a quiet reminder that even the smaller faces in this war helped give the movie its human texture. Lieutenant Willie is a brief figure in Starship Troopers, but he helps the military world feel layered and real. His presence reminds us that the Federation is built from ranks, orders, and people trained to move forward without much hesitation. Stephen Ford was 41 when the film arrived in 1997, and he brought Willie a direct, steady command presence. In 2026, he is 70. His life also carries American memory, as the son of President Gerald Ford and Betty Ford. Willie remains a link between military fiction and history. The biology teacher is one of the film's most unexpected little memories. In a classroom full of bright young students, she explains alien life with a smile that feels almost too cheerful for the world around her. That is what makes the scene linger. Starship Troopers turns education into preparation for war, and her gentle manner makes the satire feel even colder. Rue McClanahan was 63 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and for many American viewers, her face carried a completely different kind of memory. Long before this brief sci-fi role, she had become beloved as Blanche Devereaux on The Golden Girls, bringing warmth, wit, and charm into millions of homes. McClanahan passed away in 2010 at 76. Her appearance in Starship Troopers now feels like a surprising late-career echo from a television icon. She made propaganda feel grandmotherly, cheerful, familiar, and quietly unsettling. After that softer but sharper classroom memory, the story returns home to the parents who feared the war before Johnny ever understood it. Mr. Rico is the voice of home before Starship Troopers fully becomes a war story. He looks at Johnny's decision to join the mobile infantry and sees danger, not glory. His concern is not weakness. It is the fear of a father who understands how quickly a young life can be handed over to slogans. Christopher Curry was 49 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he gave Mr. Rico a practical, grounded presence. In 2026, he is 78 After a long career of steady character work, Mr. Rico matters because he gives the film one of its quietest warnings. For a brief moment, we hear what the Federation tries to drown out, a parent asking his son to stay alive. Mrs. Rico is the warmth Johnny leaves behind, the quiet part of home that the Federation can never truly replace. Where Mr. Rico speaks with concern, she carries the softer fear of a mother watching her son move toward a world she cannot protect him from. Lenore Kastorf was 49 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and she gave Mrs. Rico a gentle, believable presence. In 2026, she is 78, and the role remains small but meaningful. Mrs. Rico matters because she reminds us that Johnny was not only a recruit in a uniform. He was someone's child. Her brief presence gives the story a human pause before war turns family loss into fuel. Janet is one of the mobile infantry faces that helps the squad feel crowded, young, and real. She is not there to carry the story alone. She is there to remind us that the war machine is filled with individual people, each one moving through fear, discipline, and orders. Tammy Adrienne George was 28 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and she gave Janet a strong, alert presence. In 2026, she is 57. Her role remains part of the film's larger human texture, where even brief faces help the memory feel alive. Corporal Birdie is another small but meaningful face inside the armor of Starship Troopers. She helps remind us that the mobile infantry is not made only of the characters we follow most closely. It is a crowd of young people trained to move, fight, and survive together. Angela Brockman was 27 when the film arrived in 1997, bringing Birdie a sharp and present energy. In 2026, she is 56. Birdie remains part of the human mosaic that keeps the squad from feeling like just uniforms. Sergeant Zim is the voice that turns basic training into something impossible to forget. Before the bugs, before the battlefield, before the young recruits understand what they have joined, Zim is already there, shouting discipline into them with a force that feels carved from stone. He is harsh, funny in a hard way, and completely certain that softness has no place in the mobile infantry. Clancy Brown was 38 when Starship Troopers arrived in 1997, and he gave Zim the kind of presence that fills a room before the character even moves. His voice made every order land. His stare made every mistake feel expensive. But what keeps Zim from becoming only a drill instructor stereotype is the strange sincerity underneath. He believes in service so completely that he is willing to step down in rank just to return to the fight. After the film, Brown's career became a remarkable bridge across generations. Viewers knew him from Highlander and The Shawshank Redemption. Younger audiences knew his unforgettable voice as Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob SquarePants. He kept working across film, television, animation, and genre storytelling, building one of the most recognizable voices in American entertainment. In 2026, he is 67. Zim endures because Clancy Brown made discipline feel terrifying, principled, and oddly memorable. And as his voice fades back into the training yard, the whole cast steps out of uniform, leaving only time, memory, and the strange echo of a war that never fully disappeared. The mobile infantry marches back into memory now, past the bugs, the uniforms, and those bright young faces. After 29 years, Starship Troopers feels different than it did when the war first filled the screen. Some cast members kept working, some stepped into quieter chapters, and some are remembered with special tenderness. What remains is not just the spectacle, but the strange, lasting echo of a film that grew wiser with time. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this Starship Troopers journey. 29 years have passed, but those faces, those uniforms, and that strange little echo of the bug war still remain. Tell us which cast you want Hollywood Echo to revisit next. And if these memories mean something to you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Then and Now story.